Hi, this is Ingrid from Quiltessential Co in St. Albert, and today we're going to give you all the tips and the tricks for doing Block of the Month 2025. So if you watch this video, then you'll know how to do it during the year with just different patterns every time and different fabrics and different placements every time, but I'm going to give you the lowdown so that you can make them just as tidy and nice as mine. And let's get sewing. The first thing you're going to get in your package before we start sewing our block are the tips and tricks and rules, and that will be in your package. So let me just quickly go over some of the rules. They are written out for you so you can read them anytime, and they're on our website. But basically, if you come into the store for your demo and you bring your finished block at the times that we have it listed, then you get a reward of $2 off your block. This is not a punishment. This is a reward. So if you've done it, you get $2 off. You also get a get out of jail card that gives you 2 times, no questions asked. If you didn't make it, you still get the $2 off. We're just trying to keep you on track, and that's our way of doing it. And the demo times, the dates, and everything are all listed on the rules. And so I think you can just read them for yourself, but I just wanted to let you know that. And now we're going to work on all the tips and the tricks that are in your booklet. So what's in your package? Here's the rules and tips, and the important thing is the dates for all of the year. And if you're mail out, don't even worry, we just mail it out as soon as we can, and you'll be getting your block. There's also the tips and tricks. I'm going to be going through that with you in a minute. This is the sheet that has all of your fabric colors on it, and each one has a number. So if you're a butterfly and you're not sure, just look, this fabric is called petal. This one is called leaf, and it will list them all for you. So you know every month what they're called. And then there's also a square on a square trim tool quick tip sheet that I've also designed for you to help you get through the little pointers. So that is what's in your package. And now we're going to go through and talk about a few tips. So what do you need to remember? Well, when you start, you want to have a good sewing machine needle because we want our seams to be as precise as possible. We don't want to lose any of our points. We want to have a lovely seam. So make sure you have a new needle or a pretty good one, and you want to sew with an accurate 1/4 inch seam. So just test that out before you go, and then you know what you're doing. So when we are getting onto this, just make sure you check your tension, sew on a scrap, check out your seam, and you should be ready to go. We are using the Creative Grids square on a square 6-inch trim tool. So this is the ruler that we're going to be using. It comes with instructions. Don't throw these out because these we will also be looking at during the time that we're working on our blocks. They're just not quite as detailed as mine, but they are wonderful nevertheless. So don't forget to keep those. And for the ruler, if it's a little bit slippery, because some people have a hard time with that, you could put a magnetic holder on it, like I have here, that just attaches with magnets, or you might want to spray the back of it with a grippy spray so it's more sticky to your fabric. Or some people like the little ruler grips that are tiny little donuts that stick on the back. But whatever you do, you want to make sure it's pretty non-slip. Use a sharp rotary cutter. Really good to do that because otherwise you're chewing up your fabric, and press in this direction that I've suggested. I will tell you though that every time you add a triangle, you're pressing to the triangle. You'll get that soon enough. So when we add these, we press to the triangles every time. So don't forget to do those kind of things too. And then we're also going to make sure that we have the best use of our fabric. So when you get your fabrics, this is a boo-boo bundle in case you need one of those, in case you make a mistake. When you get your fabrics in your kit, I like to give it a little spray with Best Press and then a press so that it lays nice and flat as I'm working before I cut out. When you are working,
it's okay.
Just cut that off.
Yeah, quick little cut here.
I'm going to work on a sewing machine in a thing. So just shut that off.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Turning off, Yuki.
So when we're working this time, I like to label everything. Some years it doesn't matter. This year, I think it does. So this is my fabric A, and it's also going to be shape A1. More of that later. This is my fabric B, and it's going to be shape A2. You can label it with cards and wonder clips like this, or you could label your wonder clips with different things if you want to, and you can even make your own labels. So whatever you do, I think it's really important to label. So everything that I got in my kit, I cut it, and as I cut it, I labeled it. And so then that way you'll keep yourself really straight. And the A1s, A2s, etc., don't worry about that. It's just a shape. So we'll be talking about that in a minute. I like to work with a wool mat beside me and my little mini iron, and then it gets really, really quick. So, tip for sewing. Always work with your square up. This is my center square, and so the center square is up, and my A1 shapes are on the back of it. I just put one pin, and that kind of holds it. Now, I want to be accurate with my center square, so I'm starting on a little scrap if I need to. So, my 1/4 of an inch, make sure it's a nice 1/4 of an inch, but I've got my square up because it's more important to keep my square up than the triangle. The triangle will take care of itself. Don't worry if this is a bit messy, it's all going to get trimmed up in a minute. And we're always pressing to the triangles. So I like to move my piece here, press to the triangle, press to the triangle, and now I'm going to keep going with the sewing. But when I sew, again, I'm putting my triangles on here, like this. Just hang the little edges over. And I'm going to put the other side on too, right sides together. You've got plenty of play space, don't worry. One pin, that's all I need. And sew with my square up. And the square is more important than anything. And just try and let those little strands of thread get out of your way and don't worry about them. I promise you it'll all work out. So sew down one side, sew the opposite. And every time we do a square on the square, it's the same exact thing. It just gets bigger. So I'm sewing with my square in mind, not worrying about my triangles. And again, I'm just going to take my iron now and press both of those triangles back. Now I'm going to show you how to trim it up. So we're working always with the block square that's on our ruler. And this is block 1A because we just added 1A triangles. You place that right on top of your center square. If it's not 100% right, make sure your corners are pretty good, and that's good enough. And you're going to trim up the side and across the top. If you're left-handed, just turn it once and you trim up the side across the top. And I showed you that in my tips. You're going to now take this and 180 degrees, so all the way 2 turns, all the way around here. Put that center A1 back in your block in here. And again, you are going to trim. So you can see plenty of fudge factor, and all those little tiny bits of thread that were annoying you before are all gone, and your center is absolutely perfect. Every time we add a round, this is here, every time it's the same thing. Next it's A2s and trim. Next it's B1s and trim, and B2s and trim. And that gets you a square on a square block, which is what this centerpiece is called. Sometimes we do something different by starting with a larger square in the middle so that it makes it a different kind. Sometimes we're going to change up the colors, or we're going to do different things with them, but this is your basic block. And every time we're adding our triangles, trimming with the ruler, adding triangles, trimming with the ruler, so they come out perfectly. Always sew with your square up. You'll be a lot more precise, and hopefully that will work out really well for you. In case you make a mistake, don't forget to order your Boo Boo bundle, because we don't have them past the end of January. and just cut slowly and carefully and enjoy it. And I'm sure you'll have a great deal of fun. So all of this is on your tips and tricks sheet, and I've taken you through step by step of every single trim so you know what to do. And it's on the ruler instructions, and I'll be working with you every month doing the same technique. So hopefully these tips and tricks have helped you for the rest of the year. So we've now had our introduction for our block of the month for 2025. Our theme is wings, and we're going to have fun making things with our butterflies, dragonflies, and our birds. And hopefully you've found this useful. And I'm looking forward to sewing with you for the rest of the year, and every month you'll be learning extra things and having extra little tips and tricks. And that way you'll see all the different things that you can do to make your blocks perfect. And if you found this video useful, please leave us a like and click subscribe for future content. And this has been Ingrid from Quiltessential Co. And thanks for sewing with me today. And hopefully you'll be doing the block of the month for the rest of the year.